Hello fans, Cowboy Jobu here with part 2 of First Take, Monday after the Giants loss. Skip is about to give Stephen A. the business. Let's go to the tape.
I appreciate some of what you said, and I am here to tell you, last night for me was one of the great sports nights of my life because of you and your New York football Giants and all the garbage you have talked about my Dallas Cowboys and my quarterback, Tony Romo. Sunday after Monday after Sunday after Monday, you tweet and you talk and you tweet and you talk garbage about my Cowboys.
They are
finally they buried you under your own garbage. It was the greatest thing I've ever witnessed. Ever witnessed. And you, Miss Molly,
yes.
You're not going to go unscathed here because the start of this show, what a bunch of losers' excuses you had to build in. You're a Giants fan too, to start this show off. Well, I mean, it was completely out of bounds.
That was
oh,
very
poor
Eli.
It
was very skillful.
Yeah,
it was very skillful how you worded that.
It's losers lament.
You weren't good at that, Molly.
I didn't think the Giants looked that bad, and I didn't think the Cowboys looked that great, to be honest with you.
You know what was happening for a long while last night? My Dallas Cowboys were getting victimized by what was becoming a monumental, meant to be upset because of 3 fluky, freaky turnovers, just complete freakishness, where all of a sudden a ball, speaking of Molly, caroms off Jason Witten's hands right to a Giant, and another one caroms right to a Giant, and a fumble is lost by Cole Beasley, and it just sits on the turf right there for DRC to just scoop it up and say, oh, nobody's here. I think I'll run it in for a touchdown. Are you kidding? 3 of them happened that almost led to all 3 were like, give me touchdowns. And I'm saying, it's just the Giants' night. I'm going to have to go in here and face it. And guess what? My quarterback, whom you have continued to abuse even going into this football season, finally said enough. I have been trying to tell you for 2 years.
Is he turning
Tony
red?
Romo is a changed man. He has grown up on and off the field. You can laugh if you want, but he's found a new spiritual peace off the field that is reflected in his game on the field.
I'm not laughing about that. I know that.
Despite all those fourth quarter comebacks, all those game-winning drives by Tony Romo, we all know he used to be an accident waiting to happen, to use your so aptly coined phrase about Tony Romo. God knows how many days I've had to sit up here on a Monday and say, yeah, he blew it again against Peyton Manning in Denver and against Detroit, Matt Stafford. I'm going back 4 or 5 years ago. There have been game after game at home in which he has coughed it up in the end and made the turnover at the worst moment. And all of a sudden, last night, when it was time, with no Des Bryant, you want to talk about refuse to lose? You want to talk about taking over a football game in a way that I would call, dare I say, Brady-esque? He just took the game over. And you can say, my defense. Your defense had played great all night. And all of a sudden, Romo took it up another level. It didn't matter whether it's Lance Dunbar, Joseph Randle, Jason Witten, Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley. Just bing, 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 bing. Just right down the field. 76 yards and then 72 yards. I don't care if Eli Manning had fallen on the ball and swallowed it whole. I don't care if 40 more seconds had gone off the clock. Tony Romo was going to win that football game. In the end, when he got the ball back.
It's real easy to say now.
Yeah.
It's real easy to say now.
Hey.
So 40 seconds had come off the clock, and Tony Romo for some reason had to go 80 yards, and dare we say,
he had you on your
40 to 45 seconds, it would have happened. You're so full of it sometimes. This is kind of stuff that really gets on my nerves.
You know
because
what?
you know better. You know better. You know that's why you got that grin on your face. You
Tony
know better.
Romo
You're full of it. Please stop it. Just stop it.
And he
Come
put
on.
your Giants
Come on.
right back in their place.
It's the
You
Giants.
and your new 4-year, what is it, 84 million? Is that what he gets?
Yes.
High IQ Eli Manning? Really?
75 million
Wow.
Sounds like they
stuck with
overpaid
He's a 2-time
for
Super
bad
Bowl
Eli.
champion that refused to get paid less than Jay Cutler. I can understand that. Now, regardless of how I feel about Eli Manning this morning, he's no Jay Cutler. Secondly, and more importantly,
That's for later.
when you talk about, oh yeah, I'll get to Jay Cutler. Don't y'all worry about him. Also, you got to consider this. I've graduated from calling Tony Romo an accident waiting to happen years ago.
I think you did it on Friday.
What?
I've said to you, the Dallas Cowboys are an accident waiting to happen.
Oh, okay.
In other words, something will go. Like, for example, when Tony Romo hooked up with Des Bryant, and you're saying it was a catch. Well, the rules say it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But everybody else said it was.
What I'm saying is, Tony, that wasn't Tony Romo's fault. He put the ball where it needed to be put. So all I'm saying to you is, I graduated from that. So don't mislead the public just to make your argument. It's not going to work.
Okay, so here's the point. Here's the bigger picture of what happened
Why
last
did I have
night.
to come to work today?
I did pick my Dallas Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl, to win the NFC. That was so huge what Tony Romo pulled off last night. Again, I told you he's going to be the MVP this year because he should have been last year. And did he not make an opening night case for MVP? I'd say he did. The point was, Des Bryant is gone. We didn't know at that point how long he is going to. They're saying 4 to 6 weeks. We're about to talk about that. Greg Hardy, gone for the first 4 games. Rolando McClain, gone for the first 4 games. Did you catch Randy Gregory flying off the edge last night?
That brother didn't play.
Now he's gone for, we're not sure, a high ankle sprain.
Yep.
Those are usually a month or so.
About 3 weeks.
Okay. All right, so he's going to be gone. So all of a sudden, so much pop is gone from this football team. And Tony Romo said, wait a second, we got to go to Philadelphia. We got to play the Falcons at home. We got to go to New Orleans on a Sunday night.
You're going to lose 2 of those 3.
Then we got to come back and play New England at home.
You're going to lose 2 of those 3.
Okay, so you cannot lose to the New York Football Woeful Giants on opening night at home, a division game. You just can't do it. You can't blow that one the way you blew the game to San Francisco at home in the home opener last year. And Tony Romo had 2 of the great drives in the history of the National Football League.
Stop.
Bang, 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 bang.
Stop it.
Right
Come
through your
on.
secondary.
Come on.
What?
Every time it's one of your guys.
Works of art.
Oh, one of the greatest drives in the history. Oh, stop it.
Was Des Bryant there?
Please.
Was he there?
One of the greatest.
He's a bad man.
You did have Terrence Williams.
No, stop
You
it.
did have a good. You did.
All you people, remember this, I think Stephen A. was on vacation. All those folks out there who voted Des Bryant more valuable to the Cowboys than Tony Romo, would you like to reverse your vote today? Would you like to? Yeah, remember that one?
Of course I do.
Yeah, thank you very much. We had people sit in your chair when you were gone saying, oh, Des is a lot more valuable than Tony Romo. Really?
Well, I appreciate the work of my substitutes. They filled in admirably. I thank them. But the real deal is here. And to tell you the truth, I completely co-sign and agree with them about Des Bryant. Because here's the deal about Des Bryant over Tony Romo. Tony Romo is a big-time quarterback. We know he can put up numbers. We know he can produce. He's no scrub. You just expect something bad to happen at key pivotal moments, which was not the case last night. But when you talk about Des Bryant being more important to Tony Romo, is because Des Bryant is the one that galvanizes the troops. He's the one. I forgot who it was. I think they said it was Terrence Williams last night who said that Des Bryant elevates the importance of the moment. He gets guys hyped and ready to go. That is where I think the value. I know the quarterback is the quarterback, and obviously it's the most important position. And we know that Des wouldn't be Des if he didn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball. So Tony Romo deserves credit. But when you talk about the history of the Dallas Cowboys, which is non-existent when it comes to playoff competition pretty much over the last 20 years, and you take into account the fact that a guy like Des Bryant comes along and the way he is a high-end competitor and he competes and galvanizes the troops and elevates even Tony Romo to that level. That is where the importance. I don't think as a football player in terms of talent and position, he's more important than Romo. But what you need the other guys to do and getting them ready to compete at a high level, that's where Des Bryant becomes more important than Tony Romo.
So in overall value, would you put Des above Tony Romo?
No, what I'm saying to you is that I don't believe that Tony Romo's overall value will be what it is without Des motivating him and the troops around him. I think from a talent perspective and him being the quarterback, you have to go with Tony Romo. But when you take in what you like to point to as the intangibles, I don't think there's any question that you can't minimize what Des brings to the table. Because it's Des, for example, give you an example to close this out. Remember last year when they got shellacked on Thanksgiving by the Philadelphia Eagles? Who was in the Eagles' face saying, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks? Who was the one talking up that game and that contest?
Even after he was hurt, he was
That's
hopping
right.
on his leg
That's
at the end
right.
of the
I'm
game,
saying something.
congratulating
I'm
everybody.
saying
in the tunnel.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
tunnel.
yeah.
In the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying something like that is what I'm talking about and what I think folks are alluding to when they talk about Dez and his importance. Because we know talent-wise, Tony Romo's got to be able to do what he does in order for that offense to click.
Okay, so how then did Tony Romo direct drives of 76 and 72 yards without Dez even on the sideline?
Well, it's one game. A dead clock is right twice a day.
So it's a dead clock.
A dead clock is right twice a day.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Seriously speaking.
Now you're disparaging Tony Romo on his greatest
Let me
day.
ask you a question.
Really?
Or whatever.
Huh?
Well, you are. You can say whatever you want. I don't care if you
We're
think
right
that.
back to where we were.
I don't believe that I'm doing that.
thought you'd backed up.
I don't believe that I'm doing that, but I don't care if you believe otherwise. I don't care if Tony Romo believes otherwise. I am not a Cowboys fan. I'm a Des Bryant fan, but I am no Dallas Cowboys fan. Y'all can kick rocks. Y'all still ain't going to the Super Bowl. That's right. I said it. Okay? And I remind everybody of my bet to you. It wasn't even a bet. I volunteered. I will wear Dallas Cowboys gear for the entire week of the Super Bowl if they end up in the Super Bowl. That's how sure I
Methinks
am.
thou
They will not
protest
happen. I
too much.
promise you that. They will not be going to the Super
What's
Bowl.
your size? I better
Don't worry
sign
about
off
it.
now.
You can bring the same Tony Romo jersey. You can bring the same cowboy hat that you did last year. Trust me.
They don't make a hat big enough for your head.
Well, you should say that, but it shrinks considerably when the Dallas Cowboys win. So here's the bottom line. All I'm trying to say to you is that when you take into account last year, what I pointed to, Tony Romo, you can talk all that junk all you want to, but in the end, you, Molly, you, Skip, y'all think that the Dallas Cowboys could go an entire season with Tony Romo and do something? I'm sorry, without Des Bryant and do something? You think that's going to happen?
No.
It will not happen.
Okay.
Of course you need Des. So,
Well, I think that might lead to the next question.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, Stephen A. Smith is putting his foot in his mouth. Hope you enjoy this, friends. Keep on spreading the mojo.